Welcome to another episode of MVP Unplugged, man. Today's MVP is a professional motorcycle racer. He's a national champ who's going international now. Let's welcome Manvith on the show, guys.
Thank you, guys. Pleasure to be here.
Pleasure is ours, bro. How are you doing?
I'm all good, bro. What are you guys doing?
Good, good. So, before we start off, tell us, bro, how did you get into this? I think you're living most of the men's, guys' dream.
Yeah. So I started racing in 2020. But I did my first track day in 2019, where you get your level 1 and level 2 certification. It's like a 2-day school. So before you get into racing, you need to attend a racing school, which you will get. So you'll get a certificate through which you can apply for a racing license. So that I then professionally I started in 2020.
2020, okay.
So it's been about 4 years now.
2020, everyone was sitting at home, bro. But you,
Yeah. So unfortunately, it got postponed. We were supposed to race in March, but then
Okay.
it's somehow it happened. It was not supposed to happen, but the national championship happened in December, so I just went to it. So then started my
What
racing.
was the first ever thing that you wanted to be a racer? What was that thing?
I don't know. So I had a library near my house when I was in like sixth standard or something. So I used to go to the library. Suddenly one day the librarian gave me a poster. I didn't even know who it was. So I was seeing like what are these guys doing? Like fully like knees on the tarmac and even the elbows on the tarmac. So I didn't know it was a MotoGP rider. So then when I researched, I got to know he's a two-time MotoGP world champion. So from that day, I wanted to do racing, but I thought like you had to get road license to get into racing
Okay.
because we didn't in India we didn't have like any knowledge about how to get into racing. So I waited till 18. Once I was 18, I immediately went to the track.
Okay.
So not like I wanted to do from childhood, but I had interest in bikes from childhood. So slowly I like speed a lot. So I just went to attend a track day. I had no intentions of going professional. But then first time when I rode on the track, I was like, this is my thing. I need to do this. So
Even when you got your first bike, which was
Yeah.
RC 390,
yes,
I remember, bro, you were only filling fuel in the power section, right?
yeah,
And
yeah,
where in Shell, I think.
yeah. In
Only
Shell,
used to
yeah,
fill petrol in
yeah.
Shell.
So
And you used to maintain
me
his
and your
bike so
brother,
clean.
yeah,
Bro.
all used to go on rides. It started with going on rides, then slowly I started to race. So it was like that.
Crazy, bro. But what most of them tell is motorcycle racing is very expensive sport. Like
It
it's
is very expensive.
like
It's a
how
rich man sport, they usually tell.
Not like Richmond sport, at least now in India, there are a couple of one make championships which are run by Royal Enfield, KTM, and TVS, where you have to pay a very like minimal amount and you can start racing. So once you start proving your capability there, or you start winning, I think you'll get some decent support now. Before it was very bad. There was no support, nothing. Like 10, 15 years back. Now slowly the sport is getting recognized in India. Of course, abroad it's a very good sport. It's very famous. You have a lot of support. But in India, it's still we
Yeah.
need like we are 10, 15 years behind other countries if we compare. Even like Malaysia, Thailand, small countries, they are way ahead of us in racing. So yeah, it is you need good support in racing. Otherwise, you cannot race because end of the day your bike is expensive. You need to put tires, which is
Yeah.
expense. You need to pay track fees. It's all expense.
Yeah.
yeah, bro.
So
Like
it's-
your whole the suit only
The
is
suit, everything.
everything.
Suit costs around 80 to 90,000. Like I'm telling
Okay.
the decent ones. If
The
you go
decent
more
one, okay.
expensive, 1-2 lakhs. Helmet another 50,000.
50K for an
50K.
helmet. Okay.
Wow. So it's all expense. And one time you crash your helmet, you cannot use it again. You need to buy a new
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
So yeah, it's an expensive sport. But if you perform like any other sport, if you perform, you're gonna get support.
Right.
Yeah. So initial stages, I don't think any sport you'll get any support.
Yeah.
It's like that.
But then, the sponsor, when they come in, I think most of the things will be free for you, right?
Yeah. When you have sponsors, like at least like helmet and suit, I think you'll save big cost when you have the at least those kind of sponsors.
Okay.
So yeah.
for like now you have won in the national championship. You were the runner up, right?
Yes, I'm
So
the
like
runner-up.
now I think you would have got a few sponsors for.
Not really, bro. As you know, the sport is not so famous in India. I
Okay.
approached a couple of people, but I didn't get a positive response.
Okay.
So I'm still looking out for sponsors. So let's see how it goes.
But now you are participating internationally, right?
Yeah,
In Malaysia,
yes, I'm participating in Malaysian Superbike Championship.
Superbike Championship.
Yeah.
Okay. So you will be riding which bike over there?
I'm riding a 250cc, Honda CBR 250 RR.
Okay.
So in the Malaysian Championship, it's like there are Indonesian riders, Thailand riders, Singapore rider, Koreans and Chinese, and couple of Japanese also. So
Okay.
the level is like from nationals you might. I was like at level 2. Maybe now Malaysia is like level 5.
Okay.
So there are very experienced riders who are multiple time Asian champions. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm learning from them. It's a big step for me. So I'm still learning in the Asian level. It's new for me, new track, new bike, everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about your training, bro. Like for a race or something when there's
Yeah.
a race
So
happening out
like I train 5 days a week in the gym, and I go for running and swimming if I get time.
Okay.
Otherwise, I train like once a week on the bike,
Mm.
like on the road, on the road bikes, and I go for off-roading like motocross and like flat track and other riding this thing.
Okay. But why do you do off-roading? Like,
So if you do off-roading, so there's low grip when you ride off-road. So the grip is very less,
okay.
and it's more endurance. Your body demands a lot of energy because it's
Mm.
always jumps and you're holding the
right,
bike stiff. So that helps us when we ride on the
Okay.
track because your body is more used to losing traction. So when you lose grip on the racetrack, so you know what to do. You get a better control of the bike basically if you do motocross and other off-road things.
Yeah.
So yeah.
What is the level of leagues which you need to compete to reach MotoGP?
Yeah. So first in India, you start at like national championship. So you win national. So there are like you can go like directly to Europe. So Europe is like the pinnacle of racing. So end of the day, any Asian rider has to go to Europe. So but that is very expensive. You need to spend like almost 1 to 1.45 crore a year
Oh my god.
to
Okay.
stay there. You need to pay the racing team and all other expenses. So the second option is to go to Asia, like what I'm doing, Malaysia. That's like
Okay,
Malaysian
okay,
Superbike
okay.
Championship. After that comes Asia Road Racing Championship. That's like an Asian championship.
Okay.
So you prove here, at least you get a chance. You might get a chance to go to Europe and race.
Mm.
But again, you need good sponsors for that, or you need to be filthy rich to afford it.
But
It's both
spending
ways.
1.5 CR in a year is like too much, bro. Like
That's like the basic I'm telling.
oh
Wow.
fuck.
So I'm guessing 1.5. There's more to. Some people are paying 2.5. So there are 2-3 Indian riders currently who are racing in Europe. They
Okay.
have like they have good sponsors, so they are making India proud there. They're like the first few people who are racing in Europe.
So like once you do that and then
Yeah.
you can participate in the
World
Moto-
Championship.
World Championship.
Yeah, so if you prove in Europe, in the European Championship, because the same teams which are there in the World Championship have teams in the European Championship. So they look out for talent. So you perform there, you might get a chance to ride in the World Championship. And you can pay and ride in the World Championship also. Not MotoGP, like the lower classes, Moto 3 and Moto 2.
Okay, so,
So-
you can like
so
pay a
they
certain
look-
amount
yeah.
and then participate in that. Okay.
Yeah, that amount is very high, like around for Moto 3 you need to spend around 3 to 4 crores a year just to pay the
Okay.
team fees. So
Okay.
include your travel expenses all around the world, and other
Mhm,
expenses is 5 to 6 crores. So
Oh my
that's
God.
that's not the way to go. It's better you prove and you get into the world championship. You'll get more respect than paying and riding.
Right, right.
Yes.
So like now when you're going for a race,
Yes.
like you'll have your own team, is it? Or how does it work?
No, so there'll be teams in the racing field. Anywhere you go, there'll be racing teams. So you approach them
Mhm.
and you discuss with them and look if they're giving you a ride. So you can join a team and race through them.
Okay, like you'll have a coach over there, is it?
Yeah, the teams will have team principal and they'll
Okay.
look after the team. So
Hmm.
coaches depends again. So you can get trained. There are many people who provide training. So it's your choice whether you want to train with them or you can train alone also. It's your choice. There is no, I don't have any coach. So this is my, like I train alone most of the time.
Okay, so
So,
you
yeah.
take your bike, you go to
Yeah, I
the
go to the track and I
track
train.
and you do it.
So I had trained in Spain in 2022. I went to
Yeah.
Spain to train couple of times. So that was a very good experience for me because the level of riding there is insane, and all are like very small kids. They started 5 years old there,
Okay.
and I started racing at 18, which is a
Crazy.
big difference already. So that's the right age to start, but here we don't have the facilities and the support to do that, and there's no knowledge that much about the sport.
Hmm.
So yeah,
But how is it like, bro? If they have started at 5
yeah,
and then you started at 18,
yeah.
and then you guys are racing together on the track, like
Yeah, it's a big difference, bro. He has like 15 to 16 years of head start compared to me.
oh shit.
Yeah, because
Okay.
he's starting at 5, I'm starting at almost 13 years.
Hmm.
So that's like a big difference. Yeah. But I believe like if you do good hard work and you're committed and you are dedicated to your sport, I think you can you can keep up with the younger generation riders. It depends on the mindset. I believe that.
How many years of effort would it take for you to reach bigger leagues?
Like you mean world championship.
Yeah.
Uh, it totally depends like on your performance, bro. So some people perform immediately nation level and they directly jump to world championship. They prove very fast. Maybe in 2-3 years of racing, they're in world championship. Some people take more time, like 10 years. It's very hard to get into the world championship because there are only few limited seats and there are riders all around the world. So and they prefer to give the ride to a younger rider because they see for long term. So for as an Indian, it's very hard to get into the world championship. Till now, there's only two riders who have just done a wild card in the world championship. No one has ridden a full season because the lack no sponsors and lack of support. It's not that we don't have any talented riders, but we need support to go to that stage. It's because without sponsors, it's very hard to go there.
Yeah,
So like that.
because you need to take your team with you, right?
Not really. They'll have teams there.
Okay,
So
so
you sign
have
up
to
with a
sign up
world
with them,
championship
okay,
team
like that.
and they take you in. But again, you need sponsors for that. Either you
Right.
pay the money or the sponsor will pay the money. So
Hmm.
if you are like an extremely talented rider, then the team will pay you money to ride for them. So it happens that way. But mostly that happens only with they take like more younger riders. But with the when you grow older, it's usually someone should pay for your ride or you pay for your ride if you want to race in the world championship. But that's the top level. But
Okay.
there are many other championships which you can race at. So yes.
So like till what age can you participate, bro? Like you can keep racing.
So there's no age limit in racing until
Okay.
you're fast. I believe until I'm fast and I don't get overlapped by another rider, I'll keep racing.
Okay.
Maybe like I feel like 40 or 42 is a good age to stop. After that, it's a very demanding sport, and after that you cannot like push like you cannot like ride like how you were riding before.
But as a profession, when you're spending so much and participating in all these championships, like after you make it,
Yeah.
then how is the money, bro, in the thing?
So I'm not really sure about the figures because they don't tell it out in the world championship.
Okay.
But you will make very good money. You will make very good money.
And
You'll
then
make in millions.
okay.
Yeah. But that's like
When
the
you
last
go on the
stage.
top.
Yeah, go on the top. So, but
Those-
in this sport, to make money is very hard.
Okay.
It's always spending money. The return is very less. So that's the other side of the sport. But we are doing it for passion, and we are not doing it for money. It's like we want to put India in the world championship. For us, it's like that's the aim.
We want to see you on the top, man.
Yeah, definitely someday. I will try my best. It's not easy, but we have to keep trying. That's all I believe.
So like also like you were telling me about your training and all of that.
Yeah.
That you train 5 times in the gym, you
Yes.
go for a run,
Yeah.
and then once in a week you go for a ride.
Yes.
And then like how do you like maintain do you have a certain diet that you maintain, or you have to be in like a weight class for
Yeah.
for race and all
So
of that?
when you're riding small bikes, you need to be like lesser weight because the bike doesn't have any power. So if you're heavy, the bike travels slow because of your weight. So the lesser weight you are, the more at least more faster you will be on the bike.
Okay.
And like in the workouts, it's a very it looks like it's just riding the bike. It's not, because we are moving all our body our mind is stressed, and there's always other riders coming next to you, so you have to be very focused. And you ride like 8 to 10 laps, we lose about 1 to 1.5 kgs every race, because the amount
okay.
of sweat we when we wear the race suit, when we wear everything, it's very demanding.
Hmm.
So if you're not fit, you cannot ride fast for a long time. You'll start losing focus fast.
Hmm.
So the fitness is very important for a rider.
Height and all doesn't matter, is it?
Height actually matters. So, but I am tall. I'm very tall for the sport, which is not suitable.
Okay.
But like, yeah, I don't have a choice. I am trying for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. On the bigger bikes, it doesn't matter so much, but on the small bikes, it matters.
Like bigger bikes in the
Super
sense
bikes.
the CCs.
Yeah,
Okay,
like super
the
bikes, it
engine.
doesn't matter so much because the bike has power.
Huh.
But on the small bike, all
Okay.
this aerodynamics and everything matter a lot,
Hmm.
because the engine has only so much power. So yeah.
So like you were telling me that you don't know like how much money we can make. You were telling me
Yeah.
like it's only for passion, all
Yeah.
of that. But also you're risking your life because this is like a risky game, bro.
Yeah,
what
it's
you're
the
doing.
world's most dangerous sport.
Yeah,
That is
different.
there, but like, see, if you think about all this, then I think you should stop racing,
Hmm.
because when all these thoughts come in your mind, like, oh, I will crash, I will break bones, then what if I hit another rider? Then you can never race, because the thoughts will keep coming. When you're in the race, the thoughts will slowly come to you, and you will never overtake the other person.
Yeah.
So all this breaking bones and crashes and all we see every weekend. So now we are getting used to it.
It's like
I have
normal
been
to
there.
you.
Yeah, I have like 2 injuries. So
Where, bro? What
I have a
happened?
shoulder injury. Like
Okay.
two bikes were on me when I crashed. So it
Oh,
was a big crash.
okay.
So till now I have a shoulder injury. When I lift heavy, I get like shoulder pain.
Okay. When did
So
this happen?
it happened in my second year of racing.
Okay.
So, and I have like a small hairline fracture in my thumb. So
Hmm.
first time when I went to the track, like as a pro, I crashed. I had a big crash and I like injured my thumb.
Shit.
So these are small crashes, like, but you're gonna have big crashes when you push the limit of the bike and yourself, you're gonna crash. Otherwise, you will never be fast. So that is part of racing, and that's like the dark side of racing, I would say.
Hmm.
So yeah.
What's the most scariest accident or crash you have ever seen?
Oh, that was last week in the Royal Enfield GT Cup. Like we were all fighting for the podium, and I think it was sixth or seventh lap, and we were all in a bunch of like a train,
Hmm.
and there was a guy got overlapped. He was a slow rider,
Hmm.
so the guy ahead of me, he just pulled to the right, and one more guy hit him, and they both flew. I think the bike flew almost till the first floor. So I just missed
Oh,
it, but like an
shit.
inch. So I was here, and the bike went like this. I was like, oh, that
Fuck.
was scary. We were at like 120, 130 at that moment.
Okay.
I just thought for an instinct, like, because I was about to hit him, and I just pulled to the left. But immediately after that happened, again I was pushing. So that is racing for you guys. We cannot stop. But then they stopped the race because the guy got severe injuries, and he was
Okay.
not moving for a while. I got very scared because
Mhm.
it was a scary crash. I have never seen anything like that in 4 years of racing.
Okay.
And that's a heavy bike, as you guys know. It's like 180 kgs, the Royal Enfield GT.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when that flew so high, it is dangerous
Yeah.
for other riders.
Definitely, bro.
Yeah.
Where did this happen?
It happened in Coimbatore last week.
Coimbatore
GT
last
Cup
week.
race, yeah. Round 3 of GT Cup.
Okay.
So yeah. So it was a scary incident.
Then you need to really have like a strong mindset, bro. Like when you're on
Definitely,
the race.
bro. It's not for the faint-hearted.
Mm.
If you get into this, full commitment, because when you see all this, you feel like, why am I even here? But you need to keep reminding yourself you're there for a reason. All these crashes, you will remember. You'll fear for, like, every rider has certain amount of fear. It's not that we are not fearless, but that fear is very less compared to other normal like people.
Okay.
So every rider has a fear. It's not that we are not Superman. We can do anything. We
Definitely.
have a certain amount of fear. It's good to have a certain amount of fear.
Right.
Otherwise, you're gonna crash. You're gonna have big crashes.
But you said like you were on 120 or 130 and that accident happened.
Yeah.
What runs in your mind that time?
In my mind, it was all about how to miss the crash, and I don't end up crashing. And immediately once we cross that, again I have to catch the other rider. That's all runs in my mind, and I just missed it. But yeah, we have concern about the riders who are injured because end of the day you're human.
Yeah.
So thankfully the race was red flagged immediately, so it was stopped completely, and the race didn't go ahead. But both the riders were fine. So it's like you cannot tell what will happen in racing because anytime like you'll be leading the race and like you have a small moment and you crash, your race is done. So racing is like on inches always. On you make it's not like other sport like where you like maybe tennis or cricket or football where you miss a goal and you get another chance. But in racing, you make a crash, your race is done
Yes.
because everyone is gone and you cannot catch up them, or your bike will be damaged and it won't start.
What's your highest top speed ever?
Like this year in Malaysia, we are hitting like 194, 195,
Okay.
but I have gone like 270 on a 600.
270.
Yeah, 270.
Oh,
Wow.
crazy, bro. So how is that feeling, bro? 270. I don't
First
even
time when
think-
you go that speeds, it's scary
Mhm.
because we are not just going that speed, then you need to brake at that speed also. So
Yeah.
when you get up
Ah.
of the bike, you get like crazy wind blast and it pushes you back. So you need to have good arm strength to control that. So, but like you'll get used to it when you keep riding at that speeds. So
For us, like we are not professional, but
Yeah.
we used to go for these rides
Yeah.
before, not now. But when we used to do that thing, bro, like when these curves, no,
yeah, on the
when
lean.
you bend and try
Yes,
to
yes.
touch your knee to the
Yeah.
road, that feeling is the best, man.
Yeah,
Like
once
when
you
do
get
that.
addicted to that feeling, you'll keep doing it again and again.
And I've seen your pictures. You like you have
Yeah.
posted a few pictures where you're like fully bent and like,
Yeah.
the control you need to have is like crazy. But also it depends on the track, right? Like if the
Yeah,
track
it
is
depends
good,
on the
yeah.
corner. Like some corners you go fully inside the bike, and some corners you need to lean the bike. So it totally depends on the corner.
Mm.
And some corners has very high lean angle, almost like 58 degrees. Like imagine me sleeping on the floor at 58 degrees. It's very hard to do.
Yeah.
But when you're on that speed, it comes like you will get used to it when you start
Okay.
doing it. The first time is very hard to do a knee down for
Mm.
some people. For some people, they just do it.
Okay.
So yeah, it's like that.
Like how much do you think this is a mental game, bro?
Racing is very mental because it's not a team sport.
Mm.
Every rider is your enemy and is your opponent. So when you fight for championships and when you fight for like podiums, you need to be smart and you need to make moves at the right time, and so that you don't get overtaken again.
Okay.
So you need to be very smart and you need to have good control of your mind. You cannot just like you can say many things, but to do on the track it's very hard.
Mm.
So it's like that. It's a very mental game.
Now you race in a Honda, is it?
Yeah, now I'm racing a Honda.
Okay.
So yeah, last year I used to race a Yamaha in
Yamaha.
India.
Okay.
So yeah,
Now you're participating internationally.
internationally, yes.
Like now you're participating in Malaysia, right?
Malaysia.
You were telling me that you're going to Thailand tomorrow. So
Yeah.
what are you going to Thailand, bro?
Actually, I'm getting a new race suit, so I'm going to give measurements for that. Not the other works in Thailand.
So you get it stitched up, the whole thing.
No, like you get suits in India also, but like I'm extremely tall, like I need like I
yeah.
won't get my size. Either it'll be very loose or it'll be short.
Hmm.
So this time I have to get a customized suit, and we are racing at such high speeds. So as a rider, we should never compromise on racing gear because end of the day that protects you.
Yeah.
And if you don't wear good quality gear, you have a crash, God knows what happens.
Hmm.
So it's better to have a good gear than regret later in the hospital.
Hmm.
So yeah,
Who's your inspiration, bro, in the racing world?
my first inspiration is Casey Stoner. He's a two-time world champion, and second is Valentino Rossi. Everyone knows him.
Yes.
No
Okay.
introduction is needed. So yeah, these two are my idols.
The first one is who?
Casey Stoner is an Australian
Casey
rider.
Stoner, okay.
So he's a two-time MotoGP world champion. And Rossi,
Three times. is
two
it?
times,
Two times.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. And Valentino Rossi, I don't need I don't need to give an
Yeah, bro,
introduction.
we are 46.
Yeah, every guy is crazy about Rossi. Who are into bikes, or
Yeah,
even people who don't know about racing. If you just tell Rossi, oh,
Definitely,
Valentino
bro.
Rossi,
I
yeah.
think he's like
he's a
Virat
legend.
Kohli in that thing.
Yeah, in racing, he's like Virat
He's like
Kohli.
Virat, like everybody knows him. And,
Everybody knows.
but there was one more guy, bro. 93.
Oh, Mark. Oh, now yeah, forgot about Marquez. I'm like a fan of his riding, but like I don't admire him so much.
Mhm.
But he's also a legend, of course.
Mm.
Him and Valentino Rossi are like Ronaldo and Messi of
Yeah.
racing. Always they've had a good battles when it happened. So he's after Valentino Rossi, I think he's the most famous guy in racing.
Then like you're always traveling, no? Somewhere or the
Yeah,
other place.
racing is always traveling because when races happen in Chennai or Coimbatore usually.
Mhm.
So you keep traveling. I'm usually maybe weekly once I'll be at home or every other week I'm packing bags and traveling.
Traveling.
Hotel to hotel, restaurant to restaurant. This has become my life from 4 years.
I think that is how it'll be, bro. Like
Yeah.
for you onwards also, right?
Yeah, definitely because there are no tracks in Bangalore as of now,
Uh-huh.
so we have to keep traveling to get any this thing and get any practice or anything. We have to travel. So or if I have to race internationally, then of course I have to travel.
Even in off season, you have to keep practicing like weekly once, is it?
Yeah, so in racing, during the season we don't get so much time to work out and train because we are traveling most of the time or we are busy with the races. So off season prep is the most important for a rider.
Okay.
So because you need to be in a certain weight limit. There's no limit, like, but for yourself you need to maintain your physical fitness very high. So during off season we train hard and during the season we try to manage.
Okay.
When we get time we work out and when we get time we practice. So it's you cannot go to a race and you'll be on the track from morning to evening and you won't get time to work out and all that stuff sometimes.
How many laps in one race?
So depends on the championship. Like in Royal Enfield we had 10 laps.
Okay.
And in Malaysia we have 8 laps. But when you go to like Asia Championship and like when you go like to Europe, there'll be like 15 to 18 laps, something around that.
How much time does it take for you to finish the whole race, bro? Like,
so if in 8 laps we complete in like 20 to 25 minutes.
Okay.
Which is like one lap is like 5 kilometers.
Okay.
So I think around something like that, 20-25 minutes. So one lap takes around 2 minutes 30 in Malaysia. But in India, it takes around 1 minute change, something like 1 minute 30, 1 minute 40. Depends on the track you go to.
What's the best track you have ever been on?
Sapang. It's in Malaysia. It's a Formula One track. So MOTO GP happens there every year. Before Formula One used to happen, now it's not happening. It's a beautiful track. And in India, we have Buddh International Circuit, which is in Delhi. That's a Formula One track.
Yeah.
But to travel from here to there, it becomes very difficult for us who are in Bangalore or in Chennai. It's like very difficult.
But as a racer, your lifestyle definitely fascinates everyone. But as you said, every risk comes with it.
Yeah.
How did when first thing like everyone knows there are so many risks? How did your parents react about it the first time you said that I want to do?
Yeah, first time was hard to convince them because, as you know, it's not a famous sport. So they didn't know about racing. They were like, I don't know this sport, and like you're telling it's bikes and all this dangerous stuff. So they didn't allow me at first, but then slowly they started like, okay. Once I started doing good, then they saw what is the sport and what potential it had. They're like, okay, fine, go to it, but like be careful and come back home in one piece. That's normal parents thing. Yeah.
But that's what, bro. I think it's a very risky game, man.
It's a very risky game, but it's fun when you're on the bike. When you race, it's like you'll be like, yeah, this is the sport I want to do because there's so much adrenaline rush you get. Like your mind is always okay. I need to overtake the next guy. I need to push for the podium. So when you're on the bikes, you enjoy it a lot.
So if anyone who is into racing or something, what's that one race you would ask everyone to watch?
So the one MotoGP race I would say would be Assen, Netherlands, 2018. So there were like eight riders battling: Marquez, Lorenzo, Rossi. All the top riders were there. That's the race everyone should see. It's fascinating to see that.
This was in 2018.
18.
World Championship.
I think that's the year Valentino retired.
Rossi retired in 2021.
Okay.
Crazy, bro. But like, how is it in Malaysia? Like, when you go for a race, like, for how long will you be there, bro?
So I have to leave. Like I have to be there for a week at least, like six to 5
Like
days.
a week before the race.
No, like during the race week, I have to leave like on maybe Tuesday. So when the race weekend starts from like Friday, so we'll have like a briefing in the morning. So where all the riders sit in a room and they'll tell us like what will be the weekend and like the rules, everything, like that's the basic procedure. Then we'll have a thing called scrutiny where they check our bike and they check our gears, everything, which is like if it's stone or if it's like everything is perfect, and you get a okay sticker. Then we'll have free practice 1, free practice 2, and then Saturday we'll have qualifying and race 1, and on Sunday race 2. So that will be the race weekend. Typically, that's how a race weekend is. So you need to be a week.
A
I think
week.
is at a week.
So Manvith, when's your next race, bro?
Next race is in December 2nd week. Last
December
round of
2nd week.
Malaysian Superbike Championship.
Okay, this thing goes like the whole year or what?
No, bro. In Malaysian Superbike Championship, there were 4 rounds from
4
May
rounds.
to December. So there's gap about 1-2 months in the between. So
So
first,
you need to, win a few races and then get to the next one, or like it's the whole
no,
thing.
bro. It's a championship.
Hmm.
So if you win, you get championship points, and you'll be champion at the end of the season.
End of the season.
So it's like 1, 2, 3 in the championship.
How many people participate in this thing?
This year in Malaysian, in my class, there are about 38 people, 38 riders.
Okay, like in the
In-
sense, like in your
In my 250cc.
250cc.
And
Okay.
there are other classes like 600 and 1000 also. So
Okay.
1000cc and 600. So, and there are some other local Malaysian one make championships, how there are in India. So those two are there, but that's only for Malaysians.
Okay.
So yeah.
But is it your option to choose 250cc class, or they give you that?
No, in racing, it's totally your choice. So you
Okay.
can choose what to ride. So according to your level, you can choose what to ride. So I chose 250 because I have to win in 250. Then I want to go to the super
Okay.
bikes, because to ride a 600cc or 1000cc is totally different, and because the speeds you do like 280 to 300, so that's totally different kind of riding, because it's a heavy bike and there's a lot of power. So you do a small mistake, you'll be flying in the air. So it'll just throw you. And
Yeah.
once you ride bigger bikes, so you need to keep riding bigger bikes to be fast on them. And you cannot ride small bikes and go ride a big bike. It's not so easy.
Yeah.
And
But like, what's the top speed of like 1000cc, bro?
now 1000cc's are going, I think, in the track 330.
330. Okay.
330.
On road, it's 299.
299. Yeah. On the road, it's 290.
So all these Valentino Rossi and all keep going in 300 and all of that when they're
No,
racing.
Moto GP bikes go 350, 360.
350, 360.
Yeah.
Okay.
Those are like it's called prototype bikes. So in the World Championship, there are only prototype bikes. So that is not for road. It's only built for racing. So there is Yamaha, there's Honda, there's KTM, Ducati, Aprilia. So there are multiple brands. So they keep fighting for the World Championship. Because you win MotoGP World Championship, you get a name worldwide. So people will like to buy your bike more. So there's a quote like, you win race on Sunday and you sell your bikes on Monday. It's
Oh.
like that. Before it was like that. Now people know which bike to buy and all. Before people used to buy the bike which was winning. They want to associate them with that brand. More like that.
How many bikes do you own?
Now I own 2 bikes, one KTM RC390 and a Yamaha R15.
Okay.
So yeah.
So recently you did like a Royal Enfield thing, right? Like
Yeah.
a race.
Yes.
So
yes.
you had to use like they
No,
only give bikes for
yeah,
that. Is it?
so in a one make championship, the manufacturer, so I raced in Royal Enfield, so they'll provide a bike. So if
Okay.
you crash the bike, if you do anything also, you don't have to pay anything. They'll fix the
Oh.
bike for you.
Okay.
And it's very affordable. For the whole season, we have to pay like only 20,000.
Okay.
So, and which is very reasonable, like for 8 races. And you win, the prize money is very big. So that's a very good opportunity for people who can start racing.
Yeah.
So it's because it's 20,000 is like any other sport. It's very affordable.
Right.
So yeah.
Have you
Definitely.
seen anyone going very crazy on the track, losing their mind, something like that?
Yeah, that happens quite often. Some riders are crazy. They go hit other riders, but like you get a severe penalty sometimes, or you get black flag. So if you do very crazy stuff, you get a black flag, which means you're disqualified out of the
Okay.
race. So some riders, some riders are very aggressive. Some riders are very smooth. But it's if you need to be a bit of aggressive to win races, because if
Yeah.
you're like too soft, then people will beat you up in the race.
Bro, what I feel whenever I see these races, bro,
Yeah,
like always there's like people who are in the front and then behind also. Like,
yeah.
won't it be like this thing for the people who are behind, bro?
Yeah, so like that's called like you see the other riders in front, so at least like you know when to make the move. But once you
Okay.
start racing, you'll get used to it.
Is it good to be in the front or bad?
Uh, it depends on the situation. Like
Okay.
in like the first few laps, you can see the other riders what they're riding. But when
Okay.
it comes to
Okay.
the final laps, it's better to be in the front, so easier to make the podium. If you're behind, then
Okay.
again you need to overtake everyone and come ahead.
Oh.
So it's like that.
So few races wantedly stay behind in the first laps.
Yeah, first laps, you
Okay.
can see what they're doing, and slowly you can start
Okay.
coming front. So it
Bro,
depends.
I thought
It's
they're trying
completely
to go in the
strategy.
front,
No,
bro.
no,
Okay.
it's strategy. It's
Okay.
your choice completely. Like where you like some people always be in the fifth or sixth, and in last two laps they come boom in the they win the race.
Oh shit.
And the other guys who are fighting in the front are losing their energy. So you need. That's why I told you it's a mind game.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it depends on you, like what strategy you have. It's totally
Bro, I
based.
thought, okay, fine, bro. This guy's trying to go the front, but what really that guy was saying back.
Yeah, he's just playing around
Mm.
because some riders do that.
You can't modify the bike for the championships, right?
So again, there are categories in that. So
Okay.
what I'm racing in Malaysia, it's like you can change the exhaust. So any race,
Okay.
it'll have a regulation. So you
Mhm,
need to work according to the regulation. So they'll every year the championship will give you a rule book. So there'll be certain regulations what you can change and what you cannot.
Okay.
So you need to follow that and build the bike. So it works like
In
that in
your
racing.
races, do you have a pit stop or something in between?
No, in bike racing there's no pit stops.
Okay.
Um,
Like
bec-
if you feel there's something wrong.
yeah, then you need to come into the pits, but then your race will be over.
Yeah.
That's all.
Huh.
You can never catch the. It's gone. That's all.
Definitely.
It's finished. Once you come into the pits, you lose like around 40 seconds, so it's done.
Mm.
Your race is done. That's a big gap. If
Yeah,
1 second is like such a big gap to close, it's very hard. So it's like that. There's
When
no
you're
to stop.
participating in all these races, you're taking your bike to Malaysia now, is it?
No,
No.
I'm doing it with a local team there.
Okay, so they give
in
you a
racing
bike.
you cannot take your bike abroad. So you join a team there and you do it
Okay,
with
so
them.
the bikes you have here is just for you to
For
practice.
me to practice. Yeah.
Even when you participated in the national championship, they only give the bike, is it? Or-
Last year when I was racing in national championship, I gave my bike to the team and they built the bike and gave. I raced for a team. So
Okay.
it's better you race for a team. As a privateer, there are a lot of like see in a team will take care of the bike. They'll do the maintenance. But as a privateer, you need to take care of the bike, your transport, the bike transportation. If any crash happens, you need to have good mechanics to fix the bike also.
Hmm.
So the teams will have experience to do that. But if you go as a privateer, it's very hard to do those jobs.
Private in the sense you're taking your bike.
So you're taking your own bike. There's no team for you.
There's no
So
team.
you are racing on your own. Your mechanic, your
Okay.
bike, your everything. So that's called a privateer.
But I think like once you reach Moto 3, is it?
Yeah, it's Moto 3.
Moto 3.
Yeah,
And
that's
then
a
like
world
it's Moto
championship
2
entry.
and then Moto
Moto 2 and Moto GP.
Moto GP.
Yes. So there are levels like how in football there'll be like under 17,
yeah.
under 23, like that. Same in racing also. There are categories.
How's the competition, bro? Like
Insane, bro, because everyone is there is a world championship rider and is the best rider. So even the last guy will be so fast to overtake him also is very hard. So because those guys, all the European and like Asian riders, they start like young age compared to us, and they have good support from the government, from the local like local companies and everything, and they get to practice. I practice weekly once. They train like 3 to 4 times a week on the bike.
oh
That's a big difference
yeah.
because they have that kind of accessibility and they can go to a track and keep riding. We don't have that kind of support. Every
Okay.
time I go to the track, I have to spend on my own.
Right.
But
right.
they're either they are spending or they have good sponsors that are helping them train.
Right.
So to catch the European riders, you need to train like 3 to 4 times harder and hope that you'll match them. It's not easy. It's very hard to keep up. But yeah, it depends on your mindset, bro. There's nothing is impossible. You work hard, you can match them. I believe that. But it's a big disadvantage. As an Indian rider, we don't have any like good support. Like very minimal support. It's like
One track session for training, how much would it cost approximately?
so now if I train in Bangalore, which is a small go-kart track, so I spend around 3,000 for like 2-3 hours of practice.
Oh,
So in a big track, if you go to Chennai or like Coimbatore, you need to spend anywhere between 10 to 15,000 a day,
okay.
just the track fees.
Shit.
So I think excluding your bike transportation, your bike fuel, your room cost, everything around 20 to 25K easy.
Wow, bro,
And if
this
you have to
is
race
too
it, if
expensive.
to go to Delhi to the Budh International Circuit, easily 1 lakh
1 lakh
Yeah.
for 1 day.
for
like, or
one,
for
two
one
for
day
2 days,
session.
1 to 2 days.
1 to 2 days.
Because you have to travel to Delhi, your bike should go to Delhi. It's a big expense, and that's a Formula One track, so it's the track fees is very high. Like around 2 days, it's like 50K.
50K.
It's very expensive.
Bro, then obviously I think you need to find like a sponsor and then like
Yeah.
something
Now
that
only my dad and my mom are my sponsors. I'm very grateful for that
yeah.
because without their support, I can never
Definitely,
race
bro.
and I would have never come. I'm not like gone to a big stage, but till now what I've achieved, I would have never been able to achieve without them.
Definitely.
Sponsors, yeah, I'm looking for sponsors. So let's see. Hopefully, I get some sponsors.
Mm. Tell us like the fun side of racing, bro. Like how is it with the other races, the boys and all of that?
Yeah, so like all like it's mostly a male dominated sports. Like there are all many guys. So on the track, it's always once I put helmet on, even though you're my best friend, you're my enemy.
Huh.
But once helmet is off, it's all games.
You guys
Pulling
party
each
and all
other.
after the race and all of
Yeah,
that.
sometimes we party. It's fun, definitely it's fun. But after the race, it's completely like we pull each other's leg. Or when it's practice sessions in the track, we just go make a hard overtake on him, push him out of the track,
Oh shit.
have some fun,
Huh.
like turn off his bike in the straight when we are like this, just turn off his bike,
Crazy,
do
bro.
some, then push him around with the elbows and do some comedy like that.
Like when you guys are training, you guys then having like a lot of fun.
Yeah,
is it?
when training it's fun.
Mm.
But when we train also like you need to be a bit serious because you're spending so much on training and
Yeah.
I have to go 30 kilometers one way, 30 kilometers back, and I have to wake up at 5 to go to the track. So, and the Bangalore traffic, Sarjapur side, by the time I come home, I am dead. Riding is less and traveling is more.
Yeah.
So that way it's like that. But
So
it's
you ride your bike and then go there
no,
and
I
then
keep my bike on the track because the race bikes you cannot ride on the road. Track bikes you cannot
Okay.
because it doesn't have any headlight or
Okay.
any number plate, nothing. So we keep it in the track
Okay.
and I just practice there.
So
It's
what
like
is your track bike now?
I'm riding a Yamaha R15.
Okay.
R15. So it's a quite a famous bike. I think
Yeah.
everyone knows about
Everyone
it.
knows, bro. Like I think any guy when he's in school, he'll be like, okay, I need to get like an
Yes.
R15
R15, yeah.
first.
It's a very good bike, man. It's so reliable. I just put like 500 rupees petrol and I can ride full day on the track. It's a very good bike. Even if I crash the bike so hard, I'll spend like hardly 5 to 10K to repair it totally. It's a very usable bike.
But what bike do you think in your class would be the best in the track?
Now in Malaysia, I think Honda is good, but Yamaha R3 is much better, I
R3
feel,
is-
Okay.
this year. There are 2-3 guys who are using R3 and they're winning races. So it's a good bike. So, because it's a bigger engine, so much better advantage.
But then what's next, bro, for you? Like,
So next year I'm planning for Asian Championship. At least
Okay.
do like 2 wild cards or 1 wild card ride. But it's quite expensive. I have to see if I get sponsors. I'll definitely race in Asian Championship.
Asian Championship.
Yeah,
Okay.
but to race there first, I have to like win something in Malaysian Superbike Championship, then step up to
Okay.
Asia because it's the next step naturally.
Mm.
So in Malaysia also there are all Asian riders riding in my category. So it's almost like Asian Championship. There are 12 riders who are already Asian champions and who have ridden in World Championship also. 1-2 guys they're racing in 250cc with me. For
Okay.
them it's like it's so easy to do because they are riding the same track, same bike from around 5 to 8 years. So it's natural. For us Indian riders, we go there, we have never ridden on the track and those kind of bikes. Mainly the difference is the tires. Here we ride on MRF tire, which is like it's not so good to train on. There you get like proper Dunlop or Pirelli tires, which are like very good and it's meant for racing. So and it's completely depends on the tire because you
Okay.
need to understand the grip levels. Here, if we do the same thing, what we are doing there on with MRF tire, I'm gonna crash for sure. So it's like that. The level is pretty high in Malaysia also because all the Asian riders are riding in this. So,
Okay.
and when you step up to Asian Championship, even the last guy will be so fast because he's one of the top
Yeah.
riders in Asia. So it's
Yeah,
natural.
right.
So how
One,
many people will be in the Asian Championship?
There are three categories for four categories. So it starts with one underbone 150 and up goes up to 1000. So in each category around 25 to 30. So I have to race in 250. So around 30 to 35 easy
per race.
per race. And all the riders have factory teams. So there's Honda, there's Yamaha, there's Kawasaki. So they're all factory riders. So they have good support. I have to go as a privateer. Like I have to join a team. I
team
have
and
to
then
pay. I have to
pay.
ride. So it's completely different ball game for me and them. And the level of experience is very high. So I have. So you naturally step up. Once you win somewhere, you need to step up. I believe that.
What do you think is the most revolutionary bike you've ever seen?
Revolutionary bike.
Like it changed the game.
Change the game. I would say Ducati Panigale V4. Now it's like it's in the boom. Everyone is interested in that bike. Presently, that changed the game. I feel.
What
Well,
about Kawasaki?
Kawasaki H2R is a good bike for like drag racing, but for you cannot race it
Okay.
on the track because it's very heavy.
Heavy, right?
It's very
Yeah.
heavy.
I think Ducati, the way they have done the whole bike,
Yeah,
is
and they're
too good,
winning in
right?
MotoGP. They're winning in everywhere. So everyone wants to buy a Ducati now. And the way they're selling bikes in India, it's very good. It's a good bike.
One last question, bro.
Yeah.
So, like, if anyone wants to get into this, like what you're doing now, like, or
Yeah.
if anyone wants to become like a motorcycle racer,
Yes.
like, what would you suggest them? Like, how do they start off their journey, bro?
So now, like in India, there are like many opportunities where you can start racing. So first, you need to do like a level 1 and level 2 racing certification, which is provided by there are quite a few racing schools now. So you can check them. So we have a federation. It's called FMSCI, which is like the Federation for Motorsports in India. It's a government recognized federation. So there are many riding schools. So you do level 1, level 2. You
Okay.
get a certificate,
Okay.
which you can apply for a racing license, and then you can start like practicing in a go-kart track. Get yourself a bike, start
Okay.
training.
Okay.
Or there are many people who give training. You can approach them.
Okay.
Then you can slowly start entering like one make championships like Royal Enfield, Honda, TVS, and
Okay.
maybe the national championship. So in racing, there's no one path.
Okay.
There's only right path for you. So
Okay,
every rider
okay.
has a different path. So for Indian riders, there's a certain paths like we are taking, but it depends on country to country. Malaysian riders have a different path. We have a different path. So yeah.
Crazy, bro. Like, if someone is watching, they want to be like
A
a
professional
racer,
racer, yeah.
then I think this will help them out.
Yeah, definitely.
What is that one thing you would like to say to everyone?
One thing I would say, racing is fun. It's a dangerous sport, but it's like it's a very popular sport, and I wish like more people in India support racing, and like more people get into it, and it is more respected, and we get like more support from companies and government. I hope for that only. Nothing more.
Thank you, bro. Thank you for
Thanks a
doing
lot.
this.
Thanks
and
a lot
what
for
you're
hosting
doing
me.
is really great. Hats
Thank
off to you,
Thanks a
man.
lot.
Because like this is not easy. You were telling me like how much money, not only money, you're risking your life for this.
Yeah.
Also, like everything, bro. Like whatever you said, like everyone's watched it. It's not an easy game.
Yeah, definitely.
Hats off. Thank you so much for doing this. You're
Thanks
leaving
a
to
lot for
Thailand
hosting
tomorrow.
me.
Yeah.
It's my first time. It's a pleasure to do this with you guys. Thanks.
We want you to win, bro, this December.
Yes.
Definitely. I'll try my best.
And then we want to see you on the top.
Definitely. Thanks a lot.
All the best, bro.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, guys. This was it for today's episode. See you on next Friday. MVP Unplugged.